Hello, my boyfriend.
Hi, how are you?
Coming out as well?
Yes,
Nice to see you.
yes. Same here, same
You
here.
don't go press not again and do them thing for them.
No, not that. Well, they haven't asked me.
You know what, Dervan?
Huh?
If I was ever your wife, I would be like, everybody is just, everybody's coming up.
What works best for you at this stage? All right. These ladies are gonna have a quick chat with me, and then yeah.
Because I'm gonna leave premises.
Well, talk to me before you leave, please. So don't go too far, please.
Did you enjoy the game?
Thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How goes it?
Very good.
Okay.
I have more question than answer, but
Yeah. Well, you'll have an opportunity for questions, I'm sure.
so you have what you set up here? Just a mobile where people can come in and, or you have specific.
Yeah, this is
schedule?
live on Power 106 FM all over the world, and live on your smart devices,
Yeah, I know. I see.
and live on Facebook.
I get it now.
Yes,
I'm sorry, I just had to help them out. They were upstairs, not really getting exposure, so I had to kind of encourage
it makes
them a
sense.
little bit. You
It
understand?
makes sense.
Yeah, man, feature them a little bit for me.
Okay, okay. The opening has been played already? Sorry. Okay. Sure. Yes, we're fine. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're fine. We're fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. We're good to go. Okay. All right, studio. In the interest of time, I'm going to make a slight adjustment because I have the ladies here waiting. So, huh? So work with me a second. So go with knowledge is power and come to me. It is Tuesday, the 18th of June 2019, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us here on both sides of the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we thank you so much for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that is why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. We're not having our usual start because we have the ladies waiting. We can't keep the ladies waiting as we come to you from day 2 of the 8th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference at the Jamaica Conference Center here in downtown Kingston, Jamaica. And so we're going to start with Stacey Miranda of the Etiquette Consultants. Hi Stacey, how are you?
Hi, Dervan. Good to see you again.
Good to talk to you. Tell us please about the Etiquette Consultants.
Well, the etiquette consultant just works with the Diaspora. It has given us the platform to enter into the school system. We're focusing on grades 4 through 6 to teach them about basic etiquette skills, social graces, dining skills, self-presentation, things that they should have learned a long time ago growing up. And so what we're trying to do is to implement it into the school system back again.
Here in Jamaica.
Here in Jamaica, yes.
Where are you based?
In South Florida.
Yes. Okay. So you obviously have a team on the ground working with.
Yes, I do. Some of them will be here tomorrow.
Yes.
But our workshop will be at Golden Spring Primary School, where we will be
This week?
Yes, on Thursday, 7:30 to 1:30 p.m. And we will be having teaching over 300 kids.
This is great. So Golden Spring Primary School, make way for the Etiquette Consultants on Thursday morning, starting at 7:30.
7:30, yes.
Yes, and you go until 1, you said?
1:30.
1:30. That's going to be special. And it's going to be both boys and girls, or yes?
Both boys and girls.
Okay, excellent. How can people follow the etiquette consultants?
They can visit our website, www.theetiquetteconsultants.com, or follow Stacey Miranda on Instagram.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot. All the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Take care. And the Reggae Girls are playing Australia right now. We're anxious to hear the score. Please keep us posted, studio. We need to be updated on the score. And joining us is a lady we've spoken to many, many times. And so those of you who have been listening to those interviews would know that she was one of the original, long before everybody else. I'm not going to call anybody wagonist, but long before everybody else came on board with the Reggae Girls, Laverne Deer was there. Hi Laverne, how are you?
Hi, Dervan. Finally, I'm on our soil doing the interview in person, right?
Indeed, welcome home. A little birdie tells me you touched down a few hours ago.
Yes. I just came down. I wasn't able to enjoy it. It is hot.
Yes.
Oh my God. I left Florida with a whole lot of rain
Yes.
and come to Jamaica with the heat. But yes, it's a pleasure. I just came today and I'm happy that I'm here.
Yes, and of course you had to come sporting your shirt in support of the Reggae Girls.
Yes, absolutely. I almost ended up in France, but 2 years ago when I attended and did my first annual symposium here on protected children, I made a vow that I would continue to do it at each Diaspora conference. So it so happened that the conference is the same time as the World Cup in France, so I wasn't able to go to France.
Yeah.
So I am here anyway because while we have gotten the girls the help that they need, we now need to focus on some of the other issues that are affecting the development of our young girls.
Back up a bit. Let's not take it for granted that everybody listening now would have heard our previous interviews. Just remind them of your organization and the work that you've been doing, and then we come to the work that you'll be doing on Thursday, I beg your pardon, Thursday morning at 11 at UTEC, LT Lecture Room 198. Yes, but give us the background first.
So, as you know, I am an advocate, and anything to do with the development of young girls. In 2013, we got involved by raising awareness and starting a successful Reggae Girls Awareness campaign. Hi, Kay, how are you? A successful Reggae Girls campaign which brought on the support of Stella Marley. So Stella Marley came on, brought on the funding that was needed, but prior to that, we put together the strategic plan to be able to bring the support that the girls needed. Once they got the support, we then turned our channel to help E for Life, which is an organization that serves young girls that are sexually abused. So we are now working on that initiative, which has morphed into raising awareness around human trafficking. In Florida, we work with the Florida legislators to propose legislation for the prevention of human trafficking. So we're doing a lot of work between here and Jamaica.
It's well, we know.
I mean, here in Florida.
Yes, it's okay to mix them up every now and then because
One is the other,
it does
right?
exactly. Kingston 21 and Jamaica. But talk to us now about this week on Thursday, which is the Diaspora Day of Service. What's the plan? And I think Sandra Gibson is going to be in the thick of things as well.
One of the panelists. And this event is so on time because, as you know, human trafficking is a huge problem globally. So the fact that I'm able to come to Jamaica and host this, Sandra has come on board. She's sponsoring a meal for us. So you come on out. So, you know, the opportunity to come here and to raise awareness around child sexual abuse, domestic violence, and human trafficking, because they all tie in, all three of them tie in the prevention of human trafficking. So we'll be discussing that on Thursday, and we ask everyone to come on out. If I'm coming and working on my birthday on Thursday,
oh my
then
God,
I'm asking everybody to come out and support us on Thursday, okay?
Yes, well, you heard it from
11 a.m. until 1 p.m. And as I say, let me introduce my partner. She's been very instrumental with the work that we're doing in Florida as well, from National Council of Negro Women.
Okay, stay where you are. Hi, Sandra K. Gibson, National Council on Negro Women Board Member at Large. Welcome home.
Oh, it's a pleasure being home. I have not stopped running into some great people, meeting some wonderful people. My first Diaspora conference and won't be the last.
I can well imagine. Let's talk about your organization first of all.
Glad you asked. National Council of Negro Women was founded in 1935 by Mary McLeod Bethune. Our initiative is health, education, and economic empowerment, which ties into what Laverne is doing with human trafficking. And we are so delighted to partner with Female World Development.
Female Development World Organization.
Female World Development
Organization. Yes.
to move this to take it to another level.
Yes.
I'm so delighted to be home. And when Laverne asked me about co-sponsoring lunch, and I was more than delighted to do so. And we're looking forward to bringing more awareness about child sexual abuse, domestic violence, and human trafficking. So we're asking everyone to come out. Lunch is on me. Let's celebrate Laverne's birthday. And let's do this. Let's do this together.
Yes.
And that's what the Diaspora is all about.
So this is Thursday morning at 11 at the University of Technology, specifically Lecture Theatre 9.
Yes.
Yes?
And we will have having a great panelist. We have Rosie Gage from the
Rosemary Gage Gray from the Child
Yes,
Protection and Family
exactly.
Services Agency.
So,
Yes.
And then we have Novlet Grant, who is the
Former acting police commissioner at one stage. Yes.
We have UNICEF, Pat Congill. We also have Joy, who is Joy Crawford, who is from E for Life. And we have hosting us Kabul from IRFM, who will be the moderator.
Okay.
So we have a huge lineup, and of course Sandra will also be speaking as a panelist as well. And I will be giving my presentation as well. So please come on out. Our children needs to be protected, and the only way they can be protected if we as a community come together and learn about the problem and what to do to prevent it.
Well done. How can people follow the work of your organization?
Female Development World Organization. We're on all social media platforms at FDWO. Our website is fdwo.org, Female Development World Organization, the acronym fdwo.org, and you can learn more about what we're doing.
Sounds good. And thank Sandra Gibson, before you go, how can people follow you and follow NCNW?
ncnw.org.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. I'm going to let you go and see if you can catch the rest of the match, Reggae Girls versus Australia.
Thank you for what you do. Outstanding women.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All the best. Take care. And let's take our first break and come back with more in just a moment. 16 minutes past 2 o'clock in the afternoon here at the Jamaica Conference Center in downtown Kingston, Jamaica. It has started, yes, so it's going on right now. Oh, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Dervan.
You're still in Haiti or you're back in Jamaica for
I'm here, I'm an immigrant into Jamaica.
Okay,
So.
well, that's
They're
good to
also
know.
helping Everyone Foundation.
EFJ.
Just making some contacts here.
Excellent, excellent, nice.
And great to be doing an inside broadcast. Inside the conference.
Indeed. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, great.
Anyway, good luck.
Yeah, thanks, and say hi to Rosie for me. Okay, good. She's at the booth now. I can go to her, If for photo ops and all of that, being at the booth is fine. But if you want to do it here, that's fine. She can come and sit here. Right, okay, there we go. That's much better. Afternoon, sir. Yes. Lord, I'm in trouble now. Every time somebody says that, help me, help me. Oh yes, at Denby. Yeah, okay. Will you be there this year as well? Okay, all right, good. Looking forward to seeing you. Okay. Sure. Hi, how are you? Okay. All right. Miss Moore is going to be speaking with me now, and then as soon as I'm finished with Miss Moore. Yeah? Well, if you want to rest your legs or... No problem.
My hair. It's real.
Let me hear it. All right, student, that's a good thing. Thank you very much. That's a good thing. What's that? That's yours? Let's go, studio. Stay a while, Ernie Smith, and that must be the feeling. Well, we don't have to tell Jamaicans visiting from the diaspora to stay a while. They're going to stay more than just a while because they're glad to be home. It's Australia 1, Reggae Girls 0. Don't worry, they're going to get one in this match. Don't worry about it. The game is on right now. In the meantime, we're continuing our live coverage of the 8th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference here at the Jamaica Conference Center in downtown Kingston, Jamaica. You've been hearing a lot about the legacy partners. Very important. Without these legacy partners, this Diaspora Conference would not be possible. And so Clover Moore has joined us to tell us more about VMBS's continuing support of the Diaspora Conference. Good afternoon to you, Clover Moore. How are you?
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on with us. Let's talk about my impression is that VMBS is entrenched not only here in Jamaica, but across the diaspora. And therefore, it's a no-brainer. You just have to be involved.
Well, actually, so to be clear, our sponsorship for the conference in the last couple of years has been the Victoria Mutual Group, not just the Belief Society.
Gotcha.
And you know, as a group, we have a wealth arm, we have a money transfer arm, pensions, Building Society, wealth management, and money transfer. So we're a full integrated financial group. Of course.
Owned by your members.
Owned by our members, of course, because we're neutral. So the Building Society presently owns all the different subsidiaries, and year before last, we took one of our subsidiaries, Biennial Investments Limited, public, and sold 20% of that. So Biennial Investments Limited is actually owned by 20% of our members, and by the Jamaicans. Our support for the Diaspora Conference began as the Building Society, but as we've grown, it's become a group support. It is a no-brainer because VM was the first financial institution in Jamaica to set up offices in the diaspora, and we began in the UK. And we've been on many tours with Leighton and across the UK, so you know that we actually have a tour coming up right after this. We start on the 24th in the UK across Brixton and meet with our members on our listening tour. So it's a really big, important group for Jamaica.
Yes.
We also have offices in the USA. And
Oh yes, in fact, that was, what, was it earlier this year that you had a bit of a soft launch or an official launch, yes?
we opened last year our New York office. And last year we celebrated 10 years in Florida services. It's 2013.
Yes.
So we're deeply entrenched. We're hoping to have an official launch very soon. I'm sure you're going to for New York offices. But of course, you know, wherever we really feel that it was important for us to give our Jamaican members access.
Yes.
You know, no one better than you are. Of course, we always think of home. And where you reside, most Jamaicans have in a piece of the world. Whether you come back here and live here, or you come and have it as a vacation home, or you look after your family here. So we thought it was important for us to give this access. And over the years, we think it's important for us as well to give them the diaspora voice and to support them wanting to have the country.
You used the word integrated earlier on. Give us paint a picture for us of the extent of the integration when you look at serving not just Jamaicans here, but Jamaicans abroad. I'm thinking those abroad in particular for the time being, since we're talking about the diaspora. How do you still maintain that connection, and what are some of the ways in which they can still invest, they can still save, they can secure mortgages even while living abroad?
So of course, the listening tours that we do, where we go out, the president, the head of the Building Society, Peter Reid, Leighton and his team, the kind of people in the UK, is a really important part of us keeping that contact, because we actually get the feedback. It's a listening tour, meaning we go to here.
Yes.
We share what's happening in the business, we share what's happening in Jamaica, but it's important that they give us their feedback.
Right.
And coming out of that feedback, we put certain things in place to support them in a more effective way. Similarly in the US, we have a listening tours. We closed our offices in Canada a few years back, but we maintain the visits to them each year, and it's once or twice a year where the members come together and we're able to give opportunities. We take developers overseas, and all of our listening tours allows our members to find out what's happening here. We have government services are present. A few years back, the JSC came. We have developers on the tour, and so they can see what's happening at home, any kind of development. So we give them access. Now, as you know, we're regulated, so we can't necessarily accept cash per se, but we facilitate them getting their funds in and maintaining savings, as well as if they want to purchase, whether they want to purchase in the UK particularly, we now facilitate mortgages in the UK because of some recent developments that we put in place, but they can also buy at home.
Yes, I heard recently your group CEO, Mr. Campbell, making the point that you have captivated, or I didn't use the word capture, captivated to the point of pretty much owning the young mortgagers in this country.
Right. We took very deliberate effort because, when you finish your first degree or you just start to work, owning a home source is very nice. So we set out to create a solution to our first-time home buyer, which is like a 97% solution. And once you commit to saving, you have to sit there and make a plan.
Yes.
We can actually support you in getting a mortgage and giving you certain benefits, breaks on that mortgage. And as such, we found that the young people are coming and they're gravitated toward that. And they're owning home in 40s, more of them are thinking of owning homes at a young age. And we're really very excited about that.
Yes, very good. And the other thing I noticed, you can't stop but see that spinning vehicle atop the bus stop on Halfway Tree Road. And you have been able to, I don't know, whoever you're creative, you and the other members of the team, I'm sure you've knocked heads together and come up with these brilliant ideas, and you get the attention of your target market.
So for many years, BM could not offer the car loan. We went to our membership in 2017. For the first time, we took a new change from 30 years. And one of the rules that they approved was to allow us to offer car loans. And that was a big difference. And they said they were waiting on us to give them a car loan because we wanted to make a decision there. And the customer and brand team have a marketing leader, Kisha Master, and Latoya Grinley, and they're always trying to figure out ways to help us to connect. And that idea actually, I believe, came through Latoya. How did people put a car on the bus stop? And the car was there, and really and truly, it's been such a engaging,
very eye-catching.
Eye-catching, and now Biennial is in the car. Yeah. and it's actually called Biennial.
Yeah, of course. Now, how do you engage your members and your customers? Surely technology plays a part, and even potential customers, technology.
Well, true. So a big thing is in 2016, we actually decided we organized the business and came up with a customer and brand unit. That was previous to marketing. And that looks at customer, first word is customer experience, and branding, marketing side. And Judith brought Blake, and we have our customer manager called Denise, and advocates. Our members could not have someone better. And so we now have a customer service charter, very, very structured customer service, with way to approach feedback and complaints management. And as you can give us feedback on our website, you can call us, you can email us, and that's the work of Denise and the customer experience team. And so technology does help us to talk to our members. Whether we also offer online banking as well, you can check your account, do your transfers as well, and a member engagement center, which really helps some of the best people in the business are on call to answer that and give you and deal with it.
Yes. And finally, as we wrap, what are the features, or is there a main feature of your activation at this Diaspora conference in terms of how you've set up your booth, your display?
Well, pretty much we're showcasing that we're responding to the financial group, and we really are pursuing goal dimensions. So yesterday we mainly looked at a building society offering savings, mortgages. We also showcased money transfer services, because if you're away and you're working with some money, we manage to very effectively. We really think it is
Nice. I mean,
and
yeah, because that's another big selling point of VM anyway. Low or no fees. Anyway, go ahead.
Because we're me.
Yes.
Right. And as well, we also have, today we're looking at building and sustaining wealth. And building and sustaining wealth also looks at people starting businesses and running businesses, and that looks at the wealth on them. Our pensions are, of course, because we have a lot of money in the world, and we can't really stay with the retirement. And so we're looking at that today. And tomorrow, we're looking at the work of the VM Foundation, how we build an advanced community.
Yes, you have adopted some clinics in the Adopter Clinic program, among other things.
As a response to our labor activity, we define the things, and also we're looking for some way to work.
Excellent. Well, keep it going. Well, everybody knows how to find you online. Just type in VMBS and they're good to go. All right. Thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure. Clover Moore giving us more on the engagement of the Diaspora by VMBS, which has been happening for, I'm almost tempted to say centuries, 140.
Well, I mean, we're 141 this year.
Yes.
We established participants in the Diaspora in the early 1980s.
Yes.
So
Thank you very much. Of course. We'll be back in just a moment. Great. Let's see if they want me to do it. 2:31. Very good, you held it. Well done, thank you. Yes, you can. Oh Lord, I wish I had some water at hand. Hey, Sonia.
Your health is key to your life. Suffering from muscle, joints, neck, or back and shoulder pain? Tune in every Tuesday from 5:30 to 6 p.m. and
Oh, that's easy.
Rehabilitation Institute of the Caribbean.
Your first question is going to be, what do you think about the leadership race between the two Peters? Dr. Peter Phillips and Peter Bunting.
And I would say social enterprise is a way to go.
We haven't spoken yet, but we have the rest of today and tomorrow. Okay.
It's a 30-minute feature on physical medicine and rehabilitation that places overcoming pain and
Yeah, no man, it's all about, you still have Sebi, eh? Social enter. Oh, you finished last December, okay.
Every Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday, September. Feel your body from aches and pains, where the rehabilitation now.
Okay. You can tell us about that when we go on. Any other aspect of the work that you're doing now that you would want to highlight?
I really want to highlight a lot about cities because the social enterprise thing was really when we started and
Right.
everybody.
Yeah, because I remember that. Hi, Amaya. I remember that first massive conference summit at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Yeah.
In 2015, I think it was.
Yeah.
And now everybody's.
Today's broadcast of both sides of the story from the
I just
8th
really
Biennial
want to kind
Jamaica
of
Diaspora
focus on the
Conference
impact.
at the
Okay.
Jamaica Conference Center.
Give me a
is brought to you by
full
Freelance Limited,
details
Jamaica
once
Customs
again.
Agency,
Sorry.
Visual Tech Solutions,
What's
India
the
Immigration
foundation
Consulting
anyway?
Services,
Foundation.
Rural Development
It's not that
Limited.
much. Okay. No, it's a double barrel. That's what that. Trying to make sure I get the double barrel right. Say that again.
No, I said with no hyphen, and then I stopped it.
Yeah, which is how it's supposed to be. It's actually how it's supposed to be.
It's too much heavy.
Yeah. Alright, stand by. Mr. Hilton is going to mic you. Let's go, studio. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad, here on Power 106 FM. We're live at the Jamaica Conference Center in downtown Kingston, Jamaica. It's day 2 of the 8th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference, and we have a lot of ground to cover. Joining me now is Onika Barrett-Scott. She's General Manager of JN Foundation. She did a presentation about 45 minutes or so ago. Yes. Good afternoon to you. Good to see you.
Same here. Thanks so much for having me on.
It's a pleasure. For those who missed your presentation earlier on, please give us a synopsis of the essence of what you shared with the conference.
Well, first of all, there was just this amazing agreement that everyone in the room is here for one thing. We're all interested in how to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. That's what we're all here for. And what I was sharing was around an approach that the Jamaica National Foundation, JN Foundation, pioneered in 2007, social enterprise. And I was giving the story about the first social enterprise that we started in 2007 in Augustown called The Source in Augustown.
I remember The Source.
Yep. And that one intervention catalyzed an entire sector in this country where you have everybody talking about social enterprises now. But I think what is more important is the impact that has been able to create. And fast forward 6 years later from that very first intervention, we're now able to talk about over 200 jobs that were created through social enterprises that we've supported in our Incubator and Accelerator program. We were able to talk about over 10,000 beneficiaries that have benefited just to improve their social condition across the country. And we've been talking about the $166 million Jamaican dollars that's been created by these enterprises through trading in goods and services. And that was the essence of that discussion. And just showing how we did it, and just what an incredibly proud moment it's been for Jamaica National Foundation to now see one of those enterprises, Dervan, who was part of our Incubator and Accelerator. They're now listed on the social stock exchange.
Oh, sweet.
Yes.
Nice. This is great. Clearly, you're not short on inspiration and motivation with all of what you've just talked about.
You have to be with this work because it's you're trying to address some of the most pressing social challenges in the country, and it's not possible to do that by doing the same exact things we've always done. I think I forget who was the person that said that the definition of madness is doing the
might
same
have been
thing.
Einstein.
And expecting a different result. And so for us, when we pioneered the social enterprise movement, it was really thinking, well, the social sector is necessary. The type of impact that we're having is needed, but how do you help them to be more sustainable at doing it? And we thought that helping them to develop their business skills, where they can now use their business to generate income that's then poured back into addressing the social issue, we thought that was the way to go. And the fact that today there are many other actors in the space who are using that method as a way of delivering their social programs, I think is a testament or proof of the concept.
Whatever happened to the social enterprise-based initiative, SEBI?
Great. So that started in 2012 and it ended finally in 2018. It was initially supposed to be a 3-year program to end in 2015. But I think that jointly with USAID, we realized that
that's the United States Agency for International Development.
Who was our key partner in that project. They then gave us the opportunity to extend the work of the project for an additional 2 years, 2017. Because they felt that this is work that continues to be needed. And then at the end of 2017, they allowed us to extend for a further year to 2018, but this time as an
accelerator program. So the project officially came to an end in 2018, but it's not quite the end for us.
Well, yes, please go there because I'm thinking, so who's going to fill that void?
Well, we are part of the sustainability plan for the project was we were going to create an organization which is itself a social enterprise called Social Enterprise Jamaica, which now becomes that support for the sector. So it continues to do incubation, it continues to do acceleration, access to training, open network, all the things that Seven is doing, but doing it as a social enterprise too. And just what we're finding is that now that everybody's become aware of the social stock swing, we have to think about, well, how do we prepare organizations to list? How do we ensure that when they are listed, they can maintain transparency, they can maintain all these things? That's a gap that the social enterprise Jamaica can also fill.
You used the word support earlier on, and my mind went back to I Support Jamaica.
Yes.
Is that still a part of?
Absolutely,
Yes?
it's still part of the JN family. In fact, part of the presentation earlier spoke about the fact that for a lot of the Diaspora Jamaicans, that's one of the critical tools that they use to give back to Jamaica. So persons who, if you've never heard about I Support Jamaica, I would certainly encourage you to log on to iSupportJamaica.com, and there you can find a number of social initiatives that can benefit from your support. It's essentially a crowdfunding platform that operates out of Jamaica National.
Sounds good. We could talk to you all afternoon, but we have to leave it there for now. Can we thank you so much, Onika Barrett Scott. I knew I would have done that. Onika Barrett Scott. She is General Manager of JN Foundation, one of the presenters at this 8th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference at the Jamaica Conference Center in downtown Kingston, Jamaica. Thanks a lot, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We're going to check in with our friends from Jamaica Customs right now as we, let's roll around to see if we can catch up with our friends from Jamaica Customs. They're somewhere around the corner here. Or are they at lunch? Let's see. Our friends, here they are. Jamaica Customs, right here. Any of my speakers here yet? No? Not ready yet? Okay, I shall return. Okay, no problem. Hey, how are you? All right, so we'll come back. Our friends from National Land Agency are here. Yeah? Who can tell me about Geoland? Not yet. Yes? All right, no problem. Okay, it seems most of our oh, it's Nicole. It's you they were looking for a while ago. You can tell me about Geoland? Okay. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, all right, thank you. Let's take another break. No, not yet. We're not gonna break just yet. Let's move around and find a couple. Ah, looks like I'm in good company now.
This man went to the wrong school.
How are you?
Sir.
How are you, sir? Good to see you. It's been a while. The award-winning, well-decorated Wayne Golding. Yes, indeed. So we're getting ready for the safety and security session. All right. And what's the rank now, sir? It's Assistant Commissioner. Hi, Assistant Commissioner Elon Powell. It's good to see you, sir. How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
Yes. Yes. And what are you looking forward to? I mean, we have Jamaicans from all over the world, and of course Jamaicans right here at home who are anxious to get some insights into how we are seeking to further enhance safety and security in Jamaica. Are you ready? Ready?
We are ready. I want to use the opportunity to reassure them that
Yes.
notwithstanding the difficulties, Jamaica remains very, very safe. So we will give them a few minutes to make themselves safer here. And like everywhere else, we have our challenges.
Yes.
But challenges are not insurmountable.
Right.
So, with mind.
Yes. Okay. And of course, is the commissioner going to be here?
It's certainly.
Yes. And no doubt no doubt other members of the team of
Certainly.
High Command.
We will have a good team to,
Yes.
as I said, reassure the people.
Yes.
We're still open for business.
Yes. All right. No problem. Thank you very much, sir. Good. All right. So that's the session you're looking forward to, Mr. Goldie?
Absolutely. It's one of the most critical sessions here today because diasporans often are disconnected from what we're doing on the job on the front. So it would be great to hear from them other than media reports and reports from family and friends. It's good to hear directly from the people. So we have great expectations for the information provided, but also for the interaction afterwards, because people want to talk to one another.
Excellent. All right. All the best. See you later.
Thank you. Thank you for covering.
It's a pleasure. Take care. Hi. Hey, Lorna.
Yes, I've been here.
It's good to see you.
Yes, we're late because
Welcome.
of the time
This
they
is
left
one of
us.
our regular listeners. Those of you who are viewing on Facebook Live or listening on Power 106 FM.
Yes, I
So if you
don't
hear
miss
me
it
call
one
the name
more
Lorna,
thing.
this is the Lorna we're talking about. She's right here attending the conference.
It
Why
was
did you
good.
decide to come?
Well, I decided to come mainly because of the health topics this morning
Yes.
and just to support all our people from the diaspora, basically. Yeah, man. And I actually took a photo with Dr. Christopher Tufton this morning.
All right, so your day has been made.
Has been made, yes, and I've just had lunch and I'm going back in there now.
Excellent.
Yes, see
Well, you
what's
continue
going
to
on.
enjoy the conference.
Take care.
All the
Bye.
best.
Bye.
Let's take another break right here on both sides of the story and come back with more in just a moment.
Waiting on 2 tables.
Huh? Wait. Mr. Gilly, you all right? Which session are you going to sit in on? Yeah, I would imagine so. Okay. Ah, see the press for detail.
Remember this face?
I don't think it's a theater. Everybody
Well, try this, try that, or maybe this. Especially like on the ground. Why? Because it was their responsibility. They were the ones who were
Studio, I'm going to give you can you call me on my cell and put it in the system so I can hear the radio? Because I'm getting crying from my regular thing here. Chandel, please call me on my cell. Oh no, I put it in airplane mode because I wanted to cover both. Never mind, Chandel. Here.
Come on. Over there. Yes, your turn.
pass it for me.
I want to.
Thanks. Go off with this, although I'm going to use. Yeah. Thanks. Hey, Akila. Sorry. Let's go studio. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. We're coming to you live from the Jamaica Conference Center here in downtown Kingston, Jamaica. We're covering the 8th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference. There are 2 concurrent sessions that are scheduled to get going. And you know what? I better grab this lady while I can. Professor Rosalie Hamilton, who has responsibility for coordinating the Diaspora Day of Service. And of course, she's the CEO of the Lasco Chin Foundation. Professor Hamilton, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I am fine, thanks. Good to see you. Good to talk with you. Can you give our listeners an idea of what Thursday will be like for members of the diaspora attending this 8th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference?
It will be spectacular. Overwhelming support for Jamaica from the diaspora. That's the best way to say. We have an unprecedented number of projects. In fact, we've estimated so far 40 projects, discrete activities being rolled out about 52 times across Jamaica. And, it's really tremendous. So we're excited. It ranges from mental health. I have my colleague here who is leading the new task force on behavioral health. And Dr. Bradford and Dr. Gordon, both of them have been doing a number of workshops as well, addressing psychosocial issues affecting youngsters. We have a sports project, we have health missions, we have fixer-uppers in schools, computer labs, a range of projects. But importantly, it's a day that Jamaicans should recognize as a day when the diaspora demonstrates their ongoing support for us. They're part of us, and I think as we think about the development and future of Jamaica, we must really thank the diaspora and really have them in our plans and our programs.
Are these necessarily one-off projects in and of themselves, or are you aware of planned continuity with respect to some of these projects?
I would estimate about half of them is for the occasion, as in workshops that's happening here, but more than half or around half are ongoing activities. So a health mission, of course, will take place, but we've been doing so many health missions. Some of the projects are starting now, but will continue. Some have very long-term plans, for example, the Mountain View intervention with the psychosocial assessment of youngsters, the long-term vision there is that they can track them over time and assess their progress based on the interventions, and other kinds of programs that will take place over the next few weeks and months. So yes, they're not just one-off activities. Some some persons from the diaspora came specifically to do something to show their support and they've done workshops
and notwithstanding the fact that this conference is being held in Kingston, rural Jamaica will not be left out on Diaspora Day of Service on Thursday, right?
So, Trelawney, St. Anne, Clarendon, St. Catherine, those are the parishes that we know of. But of course, continuously, all the parishes feel the impact of the diaspora in the ongoing work of service.
Good. Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Prof.
All right, so here we're going to talk about what we're doing.
Oh, yes, I forgot. You're on the panel.
Right.
Yes.
And here's another display of ongoing support because I've just been overwhelmed with the show of support for what we're doing. long-term sustainable interventions to help those at risk. And so we have, my presentation will show how already Diaspora engaged in different aspects of what we're doing and different phases and stages of a long-term program to really tackle the crime problem. I'm excited about it because I think, you know, we do projects and interventions, we've been doing it for a long time, but I'm not aware of any that really very consciously and deliberately integrate the diaspora in all facets of the program on a long-term basis. So we're really pleased to pioneer this kind of intervention, and I think it will mean a lot.
Sounds exciting. Everybody gathering, and we look forward to another outstanding session. Well done to you and the team for the work that you continue to do.
Thank you so much.
All the best. Same here. Good. Take care. Professor Rosalie Hamilton. She chairs the Jamaica Diaspora Day of Service component of this 8th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference at the Jamaica Conference Center here in downtown Kingston, Jamaica. And so they're not quite ready on this side yet. The young people should be fascinating to see what they're up to on the other side in a little while. Hello, Dr. Rose. How are you? This is Rosemary Adamson Lewis, who just loves her parish and loves her country and is always looking for ways to give back and always looking for networking opportunities. Dr. Rose Adamson Lewis, welcome home. How are you? Yes. And what kind of experience have you been having so far at this 8th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference?
I have been having a lot of networking and I've been putting into perspective things that I would love to do before, but just to know the know-how. So now I am inspired as to how I go about doing things that I really want to achieve.
Yes. Speaking of inspiration, you have inspired, both of you, yourself and your husband, Albert, have inspired your daughter in such a way that she is more Jamaican than both of you.
That is true. Sometimes when we go around, especially in the Kingston area, admire where we are and where we need to go and how to find places.
I can well imagine. And in fact, she's going to be a part of the youth council meeting that is scheduled to start any moment now.
Yes, she's the youth leader for South Florida. She's representing the field minutes.
Okay.
Started already.
Yeah, well, I'm going to hop over there and see what's happening, and then I'll pop back in. Catch you later. All right. Take care. Let's see as we head next door to the forum that's about to begin. The forum that's about to begin with the young people. These are concurrent sessions. Not sure how they're going to work that out, but clearly these young people are plugged in to Jamaica. They're anxious to play their part and they're looking forward to their session, and we are just as excited and anxious. Okay, so they're in caucus room number 3. That's where they will be doing their presentation, and we'll do our best to capture some of that action. Our friends from SOS Children's Village, I've had to stretch a bit. I'm stretching the technology. Who wants to? Who's coming? Come back, studio. Come back. Come back. Signal can't walk with me. Come back, studio. so we were stretching the technology. Look who's here, Lorna Golding. How are you, Mrs. Golding? I'm loading you up. It's good to see you. What's your interest in this Diaspora conference?
Everything.
Yes.
I've heard about it.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's good to see you. All the best. Good. Take care. That's Mrs. Lorna Goulding. Yes, we want to have a word with the let me get it now. Mark. What's the title? Fund Development and Communications. Yasmin Salmon Russell, Communications and Fund Development at SOS Children's Village. Why did you decide to present yourselves here at this 8th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference?
Well, for us, Dervan, it's about networking. We have been getting calls all the time from the diaspora, and people in the diaspora wanting to know how can they go back, how can they help. And I think that this is a nice meeting place for us to present our experience. So networking and also we're trying to build an awareness and say yes to SOS. We launched that in and we're really trying to get people to understand that we're at a delicate point. We need funding. We don't need it. So this is probably on the verge of making some serious changes if we don't get funding. Because the parent in Germany is saying we have to go on the putting on ourselves.
Okay. Well, go ahead and put out an SOS now for those who you want to say yes to SOS. What do they need to do?
They need to just visit all our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, they're on Instagram. Just start with SOS and SOS Jamaica. Or you can call me at 533-276.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot, Yasmin Salmon Russell. All the best.
Thank you,
Good. Take care. Communications and Fund Development Manager at SOS Children's Village, Yasmin Salmon Russell. We'll be back in just a moment. .301 on Power 106. How are you? Thank you. Good to see you. Good. Oh well.
On his portfolio, and he's also a youth. I must tell you that in Jamaica we have different types of youth. You have young youth, big youth, and old youth. Now when the minister is finished speaking, I would like to tell him which category he falls in. Okay? So, Madam Chair, those are my comments, and I look forward to a very robust report out of this session. It's always very lively, because young people have contended viewpoints, which I'm sure will emerge in the next hour. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Yang. Please help me welcome the Honorable Minister Floyd Green, MP, Minister of State, and the Minister of Industry, Commerce and Agriculture. Put your hands together to give them a warm welcome. Thank you. Now, this afternoon, our first speaker will be Mrs. Caroline Mahfoud. Mrs. Caroline Mahfoud was grounded in the principles of philanthropy through her role as Executive Director of Building Bridges, the Florida-Jamaica Connection, a one-year initiative implemented between 2004 and 2005 by Ambassador Sue Paul. She was then recruited by Grace Kennedy to be the program coordinator for the Grace Kennedy Jamaican Birthright Program. And subsequently, in May 2008, she was appointed as the Executive Director at the Grace Kennedy Foundation. In this role, she serves as a member of the Corporate Committee for the Council on Foundations, a US-based association of foundations, Vice Chair of the Bureau of Standards Committee, a member of the PSOJ Education Committee, and the National Education Council. She is currently a member of the board of the Grace and Star Foundation, where she serves as the chair of the Education Committee. She is also the chair of the Jamaica Network of Corporate Foundations. A considerable amount of her work at the foundation focuses on supporting tertiary students, youth diaspora activities, and climate resilience projects. She has a bachelor's degree in history and English literature from the University of the West Indies. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mrs. Mahfoud.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm the mother of youths. That's what I'm about. I'm very excited to speak to you today about the Birthright Program. I really do feel honored to be part of this panel, particularly because I'm probably only over 50, maybe together they add up to 50. But the theme of the conference is Jamaica and the Diaspora, Building Pathways for Sustainable Development. And I think the key to this is a targeted approach to young people in the diaspora. So this is a very critical group. So today I want to share with you about the program, and because it does exactly that. The Grace Kennedy Jamaican Birthright Program is a fully paid professional and cultural summer internship that targets second and third generation university students living in the diaspora. It was launched in 2004 and ran until 2008, and then we relaunched it in 2015. So far, 45 students have participated on the program. We have another 4 coming in about a week's time. And Grace Kennedy provides airfare, secure housing, groceries, transportation, to cover everybody in its entirety. So the way the program works is the students work at Grace Kennedy during the week in their field of study. And then on the weekends, we take them on these cultural immersion programs called our Heritage Pathways. And they go all around the island. I'll be honest with you, they probably have seen more and do more than most Jamaicans here in Jamaica. They go to Sumfest, they do the Appleton Estate Rum Tour, they do the Choco Tours, they go to the National Gallery, Charlestown Maroon Museum, Port Royal, and then we, besides other places, and then we end with our independence celebrations. So when they leave Jamaica, they are converted from being just interns to youth ambassadors for Grace Kennedy and for Jamaica. Okay, great. So in preparation for this, I spoke with the Birthright ambassadors that we have to kind of get some feedback on what they think the gaps are. And the reality is, sadly, a lot of our youth diaspora is disconnected and disengaged. What we have found is that young people in the diaspora know our food, they know our music, they know when they come home with the 98% that the parents are going to ask them after the 2% that they never get, because we're very intense about education. They know that, but then that's where it kind of ends. There's no connection. A lot of students, a lot of youth come for their grandmother's funeral or for a little summer holiday vacation. That's about it. And so they don't have that cultural affinity that they need. They don't have that deep connection to Jamaica. And so they're not interested really in diaspora activities and not interested in investing back in their birthright. So that's really important for us to recognize. Now, next slide. So there are multiple reasons why they're not investing in Jamaica. And again, this is from my birthright ambassadors. This is the feedback they give me. One is the image of Jamaica is not always positive, and we are aware of that. The high crime rate overshadows all of the development that's taking place. That's what they hear in the news. There's a lot of red tape and corruption. And because of that, it becomes very difficult to want to invest back here. One example I can give you is one of our birthright ambassadors, his brothers, actually opened a factory here in Jamaica. And there was so much difficulty in dealing with the banks, opening a bank account, having to go to multiple agencies to do things for the business. They eventually moved their business to DR. It was just much more profitable for them. So that's and they want to be here. They want to invest in Jamaica. So, you know, that's a big issue for us. Another issue, human rights violations, homophobia. That's a big concern for youth abroad because you cannot be perceived that way. And then, interestingly, there's a lack of awareness about investment opportunities and investment education in general, which you're going to hear about in a little while. They just don't know what's out there and how to get involved. And I think until they experience life here in Jamaica, it's going to be very challenging to get them to get it the way that they should. Next slide, please. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the goals of the program. Well, actually, I'm not. Mr. Webby is going to tell you a little bit about the goals of the program and also Senator Camino Johnson-Smith.
The goal of the program is to connect bright and talented young people to their roots, improving their knowledge of their Jamaican heritage and giving them a more complete sense of self.
The Grace Kennedy Birthright Program is not only unique in its focus, but it is innovative and well-timed, as it seeks to expose university students of Jamaican descent who have never lived in Jamaica, but maybe have traveled here, to the wide-ranging industries within the Grace Kennedy Group, and more importantly perhaps, to introduce the students intimately to the dynamism of our Jamaican culture in all its facets.
Yes, so if you heard it, it's actually just a life-changing experience for the students. And just to let you know, we partner with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Jamaica Tourist Board, Caribbean Airlines, Island Car Rentals, Go Jamaica Travel, and a number of attractions to get them to have the most incredible experience of their lifetime. Next slide, please. So, what are some of the benefits of the program? Well, it's quite clear that it ties in with Vision 2030 to re-engage the diaspora. There's knowledge sharing taking place. They get exposed to the business sector, which, by the way, blows their mind because they're like, they just have no idea about how professional and advanced we are. So that's great for them. We are creating a pool of future leaders. Some of them I said they're going to be the next Black President of the United States. They are a future source of investments, remittances, and foreign exchange. They help to change the negative perceptions about Jamaica. And the great thing about this program is that it actually can be replicated. It doesn't have to be just a Grace Kennedy initiative. Just to give you a little bit of background, so one of the persons on our program in the first cohort, Sancha Alicio, she actually joined, after she came on the program, she joined the Diaspora Youth Organization and participated there for quite a while, and she's now actually the mayor of the London Borough. Wow. Mara Clark was placed in our legal department, and she's from 2005. And a year later, she asked her to come back again to do her, you know, like her internship that you do when you're doing the bar at law school. And she actually met her husband. Wow, pretty cool. 2 children later, she's still invested in the program, still volunteering, still involved. Then we have Jamal Myers, who is now the legal counsel for TD Bank in Canada, and he is on the Grace Foods board. They wanted him, and he's also very involved in our birthright interviews. And then we have another example of Dr. David Burton from the 2006 cohort, who, because of coming on the program, decided he would attend the Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference in 2010. And ironically, he sat beside this beautiful Jamaican Canadian girl, who then became his wife. So you never know who you're sitting beside right here, right now. All right. So, what's the impact of the program besides marriage? All right, I want to highlight some of the things that are said here by Amber Martin, who was part of our 2007 cohort. She says it gave her a greater sense of pride. She wanted it to be known that her direct lineage leads back to Jamaica, that we're more than reggae music and music. She wants to dispel the stereotypes that exist. Since she's come on a program in 2007, she has returned yearly to Jamaica. And the program exposed her to the areas of need that exist within the country, and she wants to be able to do more. That's the power of the program, that's the power of bringing students back to Jamaica, or young people back to Jamaica, I should say. So, excellent, yes, thank you. So what are some of the initiatives that they say they are interested in? One is, they want to know that they can contribute to NHT so they can buy somewhere later on. A lot of young people don't know that that's out there. They want to know about real estate opportunities. They want to know that they can trade on the stock exchange. Most young people in the diaspora don't realize that's possible. And they need to know about the ease of getting a Jamaican passport. It's not that complicated. And then I asked the Birthright ambassadors to give me an idea of how to reach them, because clearly I am not in that category right there. So, first they suggested, why not have a summit or a conference about investment opportunities? It doesn't even have to be in person. It could be like a TED Talk type thing, a webinar type thing. Think about that. They also suggested that social media, advertising, and marketing needs to be much more organic and authentic. They don't want the traditional old groovy kind of thing that we send out. It needs to be authentic and genuine. They want, use influencers, use musicians to create these positive images about the country. We need to be much more strategic about our outreach to campuses abroad, because what's happening is a lot of our Caribbean student associations are actually called African Caribbean Students Associations, and the African side dominates those entities. And our Caribbean students are kind of overlooked. We need to fix that and really start investing there. We need to think about having a GK1 type format. And basically what that is, GK1 is something that we've implemented here in Jamaica, where you can go to one place, you can do your banking, you can pay your bills, you can send money via Western Union, you can get your insurance, it's all there in one place. And I think if we can have that kind of setup for young people to go to maybe once a quarter, twice a year, that would make a big, big difference. So you can go there, you can get your TRN, passport. How many of you are going to want to go somewhere 3-4 times? No, one time, right? So we need to fix that as well. And then the other thing we can think about is immersion trips. Like the Birthright program, it doesn't have to be as long, ours is 5 weeks. Or study abroad opportunities. Because I'll give you an example. One of the interns that came 2 years ago, Menelik Graham. Menelik goes to Princeton. I'm going to decide him coming back to Jamaica. So he negotiated with Princeton to do a semester at UE so that he could come back. And he just completed that semester. And I think that kind of opportunity is a great way where it's not expensive, but they get to come to Jamaica, go to our university, and then, so we need to, get more partnerships like that going. And then finally, we need to use our Birthright interns to speak more about the program and about Jamaica. I think they're not tapped into the way that they could be, and they have experienced everything. They've lived here, they've taken taxi, they've done everything. They need to be able to speak about the program a lot more. We can tap into them. So another thing I want to mention is, and you may disagree with it, young people want to get involved. They want to give back. They want to be able to serve in different ways. That's important. So what we've done with our Birthright interns is we now do webinars with inner city kids, so they actually share and do stuff with them like study habits, how to prepare for college, and that kind of knowledge sharing is taking place. We are going to be implementing as of September a scholarship program where the Birthright interns will give back to kids here in Jamaica and support them. And then the other great cool thing which I'm super excited about is we have started a food bank for university students. And I know abroad there's an issue of hunger, but multiply that 40 times out here. Our students really struggle. After they pay tuition, there's no money left to eat. And so we're trying to support that. And we're partnering with Sampars where you can actually buy a barrel overseas and support a student here. So just for $1.10 a day, you can support a student with groceries for the month. So that's other ways that you can give back. The final thing there is Boots for Ballers, where again that same young man Menelik and his brother Tariq, they collect just lightly used football boots, and they collect that and they send it back here to Jamaica. So there's lots of great initiatives that can be done to support our young people here. So let me close. I just want to reiterate that Grace Kennedy is super excited about this whole youth movement that's taking place. We want to support you. We want to help you to help our Jamaica grow and to develop. And I want to challenge you that you start getting much more vocal about environmental issues here that are taking place. Get vocal about political issues, get vocal about trade issues. We need your help for our country to grow and to prosper, and you guys are our future. So thank you.
Thank you very much for that thoughtful presentation, Mrs. Caroline Mahmoud. Put your hands together and we will take all the questions at the end of all the presentations. Now we will be hearing from Mrs. Tanisha Westcar. Mrs. Tanisha Westcar is an entrepreneur, Governor General Achievement Award recipient, and speaker. She is currently the events coordinator at the Peers Institute and a global politics and international relations student at Birkbeck, University of London. Her previous experience within the private sector includes roles as a marketing consultant and brand manager and business developer. Tanisha has served as the future leader on the Diaspora Advisory Board since 2016. She held prominent positions on the Jamaica Education Task Force and the Jamaica 55 UK Youth Committee. As a youth advocate, Tanisha launched the Jamaican Youth Forum UK at the Houses of Parliament in London. Her earliest philanthropic contributions were recognized with the 2008 Time Bank Volunteer of the Year Award and a local heroes reception by former UK Prime Minister Gordon Brown. Tanisha has spoken at seminars in Europe and the United States of America, and also presented at the four conferences. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome Mrs. Tanisha Westcar.
Good news, I've been asked to report that the Reggae Girls just scored a goal. Good timing. You guys keep the same energy. Thank you very much, Ms. Santana Morris. All right, before I get into my presentation, I really want to give a big up to the young people who have been working tirelessly on the formation of a global Jamaican Diaspora Youth Council. Some of them were unable to make it today, and I know that it means so much to them. And I promised myself that even if I choke, that I'll just quickly swerve, past that. But yeah, the young people have been fantastic in mobilizing themselves, without being told what to do. We took the initiative to really formulate something that is youth-led, something that represents us, and something that we want to make policy. So we're not just talking about it, we really want this to form part of the draft National Diaspora Policy, which is Goal 8. In case you guys haven't seen that document. But thank you very much to all the young people who have worked together to put this conference program together, as well as the council proposal. The Global Youth Forum will be in two parts. The first, focusing on topics determined by an international youth survey launched at the beginning of the year for those aged 18 to 35 years. It ran for 2 weeks and received over 200 responses from young people residing in over 10 countries around the globe, as far as Japan, the United Arab Emirates, Croatia, and Africa. The three favored topics are the ones represented today. They are identity, acceptance, and citizenship, covered by yours truly. Knowledge transfer with mentorship, covered by Jane Shepherd, and entrepreneurship and investment by Susan Snyder. The second half of this session is where we will ventilate the proposal for a global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council. It's a platform for youth of Jamaican descent to be engaged locally and globally, to be equipped with skills, networks, and opportunities to empower themselves to reach their full potential and to invest in the sustainable development of Jamaica. Throughout the session, we may refer to the youth within the three main diaspora regions, that being the UK, USA, and Canada. However, the council is intended for any diaspora location where there is a group of young Jamaicans by birth or by heritage wishing to connect, mobilize, and invest in Jamaica. Though the inaugural councils will be established within the main three diaspora regions, they are not limited to those, as we expect the expansion into other territories. And I think that's important to note, especially because the survey covered far beyond the three main regions. There's an estimated 3 million Jamaicans living outside Jamaica, with the dominant regions, USA hosting almost 1 million, followed by the Jamaican British community consisting of around 300,000, Canada approximately 260,000, and these are numbers based on national census surveys. Though there is evidence of Jamaicans overseas in territories prior to 1900, it wasn't until the early 20th century that immigration in the UK, Canada, and USA became prominent. Mass migration in all three regions took place post-World War II. High labor shortages resulted in the recruitment of workers to rebuild economies and areas destroyed by war. Overseas governments looked to colonies and countries for help and encouraged migration to fill many jobs, leading to a large wave. The Empire Windrush arrived in Britain from Jamaica in 1948. The immigrants from that era to the early 1970s were called the Windrush generation. A subsequent scandal and hostility has arisen that we can cover at another time. No questions on it. First generation Jamaicans tend to have a stronger affinity, as well as direct family ties in Jamaica via parents, child, or a sibling. This often leads to high flows of goods and money back to the island. This will be referred to as old remittance, which is natural, regular, and creates significant increase to the gross domestic product of Jamaica. The high volume of immigrants favored the formation of sustenance and of communities that were used as a culture hub to teach, exchange, and express the heritage of Jamaica while living overseas. It's very important that we have the background to the migration story so we understand where the young people are today versus where our parents and grandparents came before. The traditional teachings, cultural sayings, and nostalgic memories may have been shared by the first generation at church and community groups when reciting stories or exercising discipline in home. Right? Yep. Some things that would be caught for safeguarding and all of these things now. But much of the community groups and table talk have since dried up in light of family breakdown, new government policies, as well as the fast-paced, internet-based, individualistic, modern first world. As time went on, some of the community groups lost touch of contemporary society. They paid less attention to engaging the younger members. They continued to use outdated strategies and that no longer serve the evolving community. The language and marketing techniques no longer appealed to the youth. Membership continued to decline because many of these organizations did not invest in succession planning nor leadership training for the youth. Thank you, that one. Therefore, when the members grew old, the organization suffered. And when the leaders died, pay attention to this, when the leaders died, many organizations collapsed. If there's any young person here in the diaspora or who has traveled to the diaspora, you will realize if there isn't that succession planning, you're finding that it was our great grandparents who are filling the spaces, or many of the organizations have gone completely. With minimal historical education in schools, about the Caribbean and Africa, some young people have stated they struggle with their identity. This is especially true for those of mixed heritage who feel they do not fully belong to one culture or race. The second, third, and fourth generation have less established affinity and family ties, and sometimes little to no travel to the island. This slide highlights avenues of cultural education in the diaspora region through school, universities, museum, exhibitions, Black History Month. These are things that we can take advantage of to incorporate in our diaspora region. This is how we can build a cultural education in the diaspora. Next slide. For recommendations for cultural education by direct immersion, by visiting Jamaica, there are placement and exchange programs, as Ms. Mahmoud mentioned at Grace Arden, and I was very happy to hear how you spoke about it being duplicatable as well. So that other organizations can use it as a template and further enrich their youth engagement. In psychology, next slide. In psychology, identity is the qualities, beliefs, personalities, looks, and/or expressions that make a person or group. Personal identification can be considered by socio-demographic characteristics such as age, gender, ethnic group, household size, or employment status. Categorizing identity can be positive or it can be destructive. Yeah. Correct? Yeah. Okay, we got 5 more. The external characteristics may be easily visible, but don't always necessarily determine self-identification. Therefore, because I look Black doesn't mean I identify as such. Acceptance by self and acceptance by community becomes important. So we have different levels of youth and engagement in the diaspora, right? You have those who may be exposed to the Jamaican culture through international icons such as Bob Marley and Usain Bolt, or more current artists like Chronix or Popcorn. Or even be familiar with the dance moves from Ding Dong Ravers. They're not deeply engaged in the knowledge of the country. They tend to be ignorant of stuff like the national heroes, heritage sites, and so forth, but they have a very top level basic understanding. Then you have, so this low cultural depth have provoked some youth to independently seek greater understanding and enlightenment. Because as I said, the young people of today, they're not waiting on permission, right? If there is a lack and they have their own interest, they're going out there to find it themselves. So there's a youth revolution taking place, right? So where young people are reverting to their